traveling, traveling. Ah, man. Now this is very much a transparent and also a spiritual message, really, and also a spiritual aspect concerning this. But yes, this does literally mean how it sounds as well. Traveling. Now, once again, this is truly a spiritual message, but many people are and individuals and beings are open to listen to this, of course. But traveling, yeah, I mean, see, the thing about traveling is it's just for some it is necessary, and for others it's not so necessary. That's the thing about traveling. And then also, too, I mean, it's about traveling to the right, I would say atmospheres and landscapes, if I'm being real. But yeah, traveling, see the problem with this, more or less, even as I'm being led by the Spirit of God, is that, people, travel, and that's that's somewhat okay if I'm being real. But see, the thing about this is that people think that they can out-travel the Spirit of God and God overall, and you can't. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're a celebrity. It doesn't matter if you're not a celebrity. It doesn't even matter if you're middle class or below any class. This is for diverse amount of individuals. But yeah, I mean, you cannot out-travel the Spirit of God. And many people think they can because they have a lot of money and all that good stuff, in a way. But yeah, I mean, traveling, there's nothing wrong with it to a certain extent as well. But the thing about it is that, more or less, you do have to have the Spirit of God, if I'm being real, because you travel into all these different landscapes and stuff. I mean, you're coming across a lot of stuff, and you're encountering a lot of stuff, seen and unseen too, as I'm being led by the Spirit. And yeah, I mean, if you don't have the Spirit of God concerning these matters, man, you will be coming up against some stuff that you are truly not only aware of, but you will be coming up against things that the enemy has set up for you, if I'm being real, concerning traps and schemes and just layers of his darkness, if I'm being real. And yeah, I mean, certain things will take place, and then also certain things are, subtle and subliminal, and, certain things the enemy just does more or less subliminally to your soul as you're traveling to all these different places, because a lot of people, they just travel as if they can out-travel the Spirit of God and God overall. That's what this gets to. And yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with traveling to a certain extent too, but what are your motives behind this travel and stuff as I'm being led by the Spirit? Because if you're not traveling for, honestly, a higher purpose concerning God, really, more or less, because yeah, I mean, you can travel to certain places and different things like that, but if you just do not have God in mind concerning this stuff at all, then yeah, you're in trouble. And it doesn't matter who you are hearing this, because yeah, I mean, a lot of people just think, they really truly think they can out-travel the Spirit of God. And that's where the problem comes in, because you can't. And then the other individuals who, God does allow to travel and all that stuff. And yeah, more or less, yeah, I mean, this stuff is real, but more or less concerning these type of individuals, I mean, God has, all these things in his sight, of course. But, of course, free will is always going to be a relevant thing. Yeah, of course. But, God has these different things that he orchestrates concerning these individuals. I'll just leave it at that. And then these other individuals who be just traveling and traveling, I mean, they don't really have him, obviously, but it may not be as obvious concerning certain individuals. But anyhow, though, I mean, yeah, a lot of these people do not have him. And, God does allow them to experience these different things. And God will still, even show certain mercy to certain individuals, depending on who they are and what kind of character they have, and if God overall just has interest in these people, particular individuals who be just traveling and traveling and traveling. But more or less, I mean, you cannot out-travel the Spirit of God. And that is just a major thing that, this is a very unusual message once again, but you cannot out-travel the Spirit of God, and you cannot out-travel the God of Israel. I'm gonna just leave it at that. This is for particular people, and it may be convicting and all that good stuff in a way too, because yes, this is good stuff. But yeah, this is a convicting type message as well. Yeah, man, this stuff is deep, man, because people do want to out-travel God too. That's what you got to realize. And you may wonder concerning me, about this particular matter. I mean, have I traveled, or how do I how's God viewing me concerning travel, or have I traveled, and do I do this type of matter? I mean, I'm only limited on what I can share concerning this, but yeah, of course I've traveled. And there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it at all. But see, the thing is, I do have God. That's the thing you got to realize. I do have God. And am I perfect? And have I, always done stuff of God and all that stuff? And no. But the thing in the midst of this is, I have always had him. Yes. More or less. And I mean, I always had his will in mind too. That's what you got to realize. I've always had his will in mind. But no, I've not been perfect in the midst of certain matters concerning this. No. But I have had him in mind, and throughout each travel and all this stuff, I've always had him in mind. I've always had that, he wants me to share some of this, but that connection, with him, and that relationship with him. I'm just going to be very transparent, but other things are just prohibited, if I'm being real. But yeah, I mean, more or less, getting back into traveling, these people who be traveling. Yeah, I mean, majority of these people, they don't really be knowing who they are. So they just kind of try to find an identity by traveling. And then there's other people who be in different categories who just be running from God and all that stuff too. And yeah, I mean, I have a lot of different people I be seeing in this category, and this goes to many people. I won't even put any particular categories on this, but this goes to many people I'm familiar with and more or less just know and be seeing and stuff like that. But this stuff is real. Because believe it or not, a lot of these different people are running from God, more or less. And, God is leading me to say this too. And you may ask me, have I ever been in this category? No, I haven't. I never have, if I'm being real with you, But, once again, I'm not perfect in this particular matter when it comes to the travel and stuff. Once again, no. But I've always had God in mind concerning this throughout my personal travel and stuff like that. And how do I feel about that concerning overall? I mean, traveling, it's a blessing and a curse type of thing. It's all about what you're traveling for, and do you have God? That's what this more or less is about. And then it gets a lot deeper too. But yeah, that's all I really feel led to say concerning this travel and stuff. And yeah, I mean, certain people, they just truly have to, more or less, I mean, get out of this really, because a lot of these people, they're running from God, and God is aware of this stuff, And yes, so I mean, I've been very transparent concerning this, even me as well. And then other things are prohibited. But once again, a lot of individuals truly just have to repent, if I'm being real, concerning, I would say traveling without, God, and also just having no no heart towards God and no relationship with God. That type of stuff too is what he's leading me to say, you know. And yeah, I mean, God, overall, the God of Israel has to orchestrate these things for sure, but he's just leading me to say certain things concerning certain individuals because this is not for everybody. But yeah, with all that being said, you cannot out travel the Spirit of God. And, I'm just going to leave it at that. With all that being said, though, and just God overall, you cannot out travel him, and many people think they can. And yeah, I mean, many people will continue to, as he's leading me to say this, many people will continue to do all that travel and stuff. And then, yeah, but many people also, as he's leading me to say, they will be left behind on a spiritual level. And, some of these people are. And then some of these people, God is just, like I say, he's really orchestrating certain things for higher purposes. But with all that being said, yeah, you cannot out travel God or the Spirit of God as well. With that being said, yeah. No.